Imagine owning land for generations, only to wake up one day and find 50 houses built on it, without your permission. The HOA thought they could get away with it. But they didn't count on one thing, the dam. It all began with a piece of land that had been in one family for generations. Acres of rolling hills, trees, and a wide stretch of creek had been passed down like an heirloom. 4 years, the land sat untouched, a quiet sanctuary away from the growing bustle of suburbia. But as the city spread, the homeowners association saw an opportunity. Without permission, without purchase, and without even consultation, developers backed by the HOA broke ground. They cut roads, poured foundations, and built rows of identical homes. 50 houses rose where they had no right to stand. At first, the rightful owner thought it was some mistake, perhaps a surveying error. But documents confirmed the truth. The HOA had simply assumed control, using its influence to bulldoze the land into their newest subdivision. Lawsuits were filed, complaints were raised, but hearings dragged on, buried in red tape. Meanwhile, families moved into the houses, blissfully unaware they were living on stolen ground. But the landowner had something the HOA didn't understand, a deep knowledge of the property. 4 generations, the family had managed the creek that cut through the land, complete with a dam system built long ago for irrigation. To the untrained eye, it was a harmless waterway, but the dam controlled how that water flowed, holding back a massive reservoir upstream. The HOA, in its arrogance, had built directly within the floodplain. No proper studies, no consideration of the risks. The houses stood proudly, but precariously, their foundations vulnerable to what the land could unleash. When the legal battle stalled and the arrogance of the HOA reached its peak, the landowner decided enough was enough. The dam gates were opened, not recklessly, but with purpose. Water surged forward, unstoppable and unforgiving. Within hours, streets of the subdivision were submerged. Lawns turned into ponds, basements filled, and the uniform houses that had been paraded as progress became cautionary ruins. Panic erupted as the HOA scrambled to shift blame. Residents demanded answers, police and news crews arrived, and the once pristine community became a disaster zone. But when the truth surfaced, that the homes were built on land never legally theirs, the public sympathy shifted. The flood wasn't an accident. It was the land reclaiming itself. In court, the landowner's case was suddenly undeniable. The HOA not only faced millions in damages, but also the loss of credibility that would haunt them for years. The families were relocated, the homes left abandoned, and the development became a ghost neighborhood, a monument to greed and arrogance. The land was restored to its rightful owner. And though the waters receded, the lesson remained clear. When you build on stolen ground, the flood is inevitable. In the end, the HOA drowned not in water, but in the weight of its own corruption. Do like, subscribe for more story.